Once again, good morning, everyone. I'm Asmita, Center Head at JMA, Jamshedpur Management Association, and I welcome you all on to this ELS session, that is Enriching Life series session. We started these sessions in pandemic, and due to the response that we got, we decided to go ahead and continue with it. So we have had many stalwarts on these sessions: Dr. Shikha Sharma, Mr. Pradeep Vohra, who's the brand ambassador of India. Such guests have come over this platform and shared their wisdom. And today we have a special topic, that is the art of first impressions. In today's world, where it is so fast growing, and it is full of shorts and reels where you have to present yourself, express yourself in a very short span. So it has become very important. The packaging has become as important as the content. With that thought in mind, JMA has come up with this topic for this today's session. So let me introduce our guest of today, Miss Ananya Shetty, who is the founder, chief image coach, and trainer at Mirozome, and is certified image consultant and soft skills trainer from ICBI India, and also a privileged member of the Image Management Professionals Association, India's only association for image professionals. She is an MCOM and PGDBM by qualification and has over a decade of experience in the banking industry. She has also worked for some of the non-profit organizations helping people create the life they want. She also runs a YouTube channel, Ananya Shetty, on productivity, lifestyle, motivation, which has helped her understand the market expectation, behavioral cycles, importance of building image, personal brand, and holistic transformation. She has had she also has exposure to working with Art of Living Foundation on enhancing and uplifting the life skill of people, which has helped her connect with her clients on a deeper level. With this, I would like to welcome you, Ananya, on JMA platform. And as this topic is very interesting and new for some people, image coaching, we are all here to listen to you. Thank you.
So, Ashmita, thank you so much for having me. So, even before we get started, I would really like to start with, why the topic first impression. So, first impression is by far the most effective, also the most underrated, untapped area at the same time. It's a cliche, and you will know why over the period of next course of next 45 minutes. We'll understand why exactly, but it's really one of the things that will help you break through milestones personally, professionally, socially, possible every area of your life. I understand we are all here for a professional front, looking at perspective, probably taking away some perspective there. However, it's going to do a lot to you as an individual, also to you in terms of your relationships, to you in terms of your social presence, and much more. And on that note, here's what we are going to cover in the next 45-50 minutes. We are going to understand exactly what exactly is the power of first impression. Why are you even taking this time to talk about it, and how are they formed? What are the impact it makes on people and the people that you meet? How to create a lasting first impression, a very positive, powerful one. What are the pillars of first impression, and how to effectively dress for success? On that note, I understand you're here with the purpose, but I think I owe this explanation, a justification to you as to why you have to sit through on with my session for the next 45 minutes. So here are a couple of reasons why. So 33% of the clients claim that within 90 seconds of meeting somebody, they'll decide whether you'll be hired or not. So all the talks that happens after that, like after first 90 seconds, all the communication that happens, it is only going to validate the first decision that's being made in 90 seconds. So that's how quick people actually judge you and make their decision, but it's post that it's like validating the previous decision. 65% of the bosses said that clothes could be a deciding factor between two similar candidates. Now let's say both me and Ashmita are applying for a role in your organization, and both of us are of the same caliber, same experience, background, same element of interest, all of it. We are at par with each other. Then finally, if the organization have to decide who the their first choice B, finally it is going to boil down to your visual presence, your first impression. Who managed to give the great first impression will take the cake. So that's how it works. And 70% of the employers claim that they don't want the applicants or employees wear trendy clothes. A quick question here. So do you have dress codes at your place, probably weekends, and you have that Friday dress code? You go easy?
No, we as of now we don't have any dress code in TSL.
Acha, 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 good to know. But I am from Bangalore and we have plenty of IT here. Okay, okay. And also, here's the thing. Because the only thing I'm able to see right now is the PPT. I'm not able to see you guys. That doesn't mean you stop me if you have any question. We don't have to really wait for the end of the session to stop me. And if you have a quick question, and also throughout the session, we will be talking because I'm not here to I'm not here to preach you. So we are going to have a very easy we will keep it very conversational. We'll make it very engaging with me. I guess would
Yes,
do
yes.
for beginners.
Yes,
Lovely.
yes.
Thank you. So people have dress codes in office or any working area, even in colleges. The reason why, what you wear communicates something out loud and clear. So for you to feel very productive, there are certain dress codes that you need to wear certain way. There's a reason why people wear a certain clothes when you go out for vacation, probably in Goa. You don't see men wearing three-piece suit there. People are wearing all floral prints, all the coconut tree pattern prints, shirts, and very jazzy, flowy clothes there. Why? Because you need to feel very relaxed and easy. At the same time, at workplace, let's say somebody is a manager high up on the career ladder, they come up formals, they come up tuck in shirts and probably blazer if you're high up in the career ladder. Why? Certain clothes communicate out loud and clear, and that also makes you feel a certain way. So which is why employers are certainly very particular about what you wear and how you wear it. And finally, this is a very interesting take. 75% of users admit to making judgments about the company's credibility based on website design. Let's say tomorrow your organization is looking for an image consultant for whatever purposes, and they Google the top image consultants in India. Of course, they have no background knowledge about each person, but if they really have to pick and choose somebody and actually decide on, let me just ping this person and see, that will always be on the basis of how beautiful and aesthetically the website looks like. It's very sad, but we all judge the book by its cover, and that's true. If this is good enough reason for you to stay up for 30 minutes, I would like to move forward by saying first impression lasts forever. Now, if you sit down to Google, this is one thing we've learned since from school. If even if I've not put even tinge of effort to work on your first impression, we all know that they last forever. But even before we get there and how and what of it, I want to hear from you all. When do you think first impression is important? What are the occasions? Quickly, if you can give me pointers. It doesn't have to be extremely, I'm not looking for a specific answer, but in general in life, what are the different occasions that we look for first impressions? When is it important? Anybody?
Guys, you can also post your comments in the chat box if I'm not turning on the mic.
That's okay. So I just want to ask from Ashmita. So I do not know how this works in general. So are you comfortable with interaction, or do you want me to take up the presentation and take the questions and the interaction at the end? I am okay both ways.
It has to be interactive.
Okay, lovely. Lovely. Okay.
So, Ananya, they're posting in the chat box
Yeah,
that
I'm
at the
having a
time of
look.
interviews,
Uh,
it is
in case
important
of
to make
interviews
the
or
first
in
impression.
meeting the new clients in terms of addressing interview. And very interestingly, this is very professionals, when we are talking work specific, but it also works when when people are meeting, let's say like like even in dating perspective. But yeah, that's right. And even let's say a girl is going for the first time to her sasural, that also first impression matters, a very out of the box thing. And also, let's say you're pitching somewhere, going to pitch your idea maybe to your boss that day, or probably you're pitching your sales, you're pitching your product, you're meeting somebody for the first time, be it networking, be it giving a presentation. Everybody with me? Anybody who thinks otherwise? Now you're able to see?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So, like I said,
Yes.
cracking interview, getting your first job, creating a personal brand. Also, word of mouth referral. Let's say you're giving a presentation somewhere. Let's say, okay, we'll take my own example. Um, it's a presentation, and unfortunately, we're not able to see. So the lesser you are able to see, the lesser that we are able to connect. But we'll deal with it positively today. So let's say you don't like my let's say we look at the positive side first. You like the presentation, so you probably go talk to people about it, or you might as well not talk about it. Let's say you don't like the presentation today, so people are more vocal when it's a very negative thing, and that's also first impression. So when it comes to first impression, there is good and bad. Yeah, so when it is negative, it spreads like wildfire. So you might as well make an effort to create a positive first impression the first time you meet somebody. When we are clear with the when, I want to jump into now, how do you create a great first impression? Now the answers that we are going to talk about is not something I'm going to bring very new on table right now for the next probably 10-15 minutes. These are the things that we have addressed earlier. um, but uh, probably we have not probably we are not practicing it as much. Couple of things, like smile. Yeah, people say it's always good to smile, but not necessarily that we smile that often, right? So anything else that you can add upon that from the scene? For example, me, I'm 32 years old. In my 32 years of experience, I have understood that there are a couple of things that is going to add to create a good first impression, things that I should be doing and shouldn't be doing for first impression. I want to hear from you your thoughts. Yeah. Anybody? I'm looking at the chat. Anybody? Yeah. Anybody, so one of the things is, like I said, um, smile is very important. Probably being on time is very important. Dressing right is very important. Anything else that you can think about, like that you can drop in? I'm looking at the chat if anybody wants to type and share their thoughts. Way of talking, lovely. Anshara Kumari, I think if I'm spelling it right, being in the present, being absolutely in the present. Lovely, Rupesh, thank you so much. Body language, now that's an umbrella. Eye contact, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Anything else that we can think of? So when you say about body language, there's so much that adds to it. How you sit, how you stand, how you, even the eye contact, the way you're looking at the person, handshake, introducing yourself. Beautiful, Prabhat. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anything else, anything that you can think of? So all that you need to think of is, when you meet somebody for the first time, all the good things, all the first impression that you've had in life, and all the bad impressions, you're like, you look at the person, oh my god, not my type, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. Yeah, so when you have such messaging, probably the person managed to create a terrible first impression. So to everybody, thank you so much for sharing. We'll proceed further. Like I said, first thing, being on time. There's nothing like being on time. And when you say being on time, it's directly implication is being on time is equal to I respect you. So when you're not on time, it's forget you are not valuing your own time, but also people take it to their ego, because it's equivalent to respecting the other person in different form. And being on time is one of the finest that you can give it back. If not early, at least be on time. And master the art of body language. There are a couple of activities I wanted to do here in terms of body language, but unfortunately, because I cannot come on camera, I can't really show it to you, sadly. But I'll try talking, taking you through. We have seen people doing this a lot. Let's say you're meeting somebody, they are taking their hands through their hair all the time, or they're fidgeting, they're touching their face all the time, or they are folding their hands. So they give out the message loud and clearly. Let's say somebody is already folding their hands, it basically means that I am closed, I'm not open to hear you out, or I'm very rigid, I'm not very accepting of you as a personality or what you're saying. Or probably, how do you know when somebody is probably lying? Probably if that person is constantly touching the face all over the face, probably the person is not comfortable, or he or she is lying. And you can also make identify, let's say you're talking to somebody in person, and the person is looking at you point blank. So you can actually decide whether the person is actually listening to you or not. So if you make, if somebody is looking close around your nose, face, that region, then probably the person is actually listening to you. And otherwise, if the person is looking anywhere around your cheeks and your forehead, your hair, eyes, and everywhere, then chances are the person is in his own trip and pretending to listen to you. So when I talk about body language, it's an umbrella of its own. So here are two things that can happen when understand body language. One, you're able to read people. Yeah. And secondly, you are able to give the right message out to the world. So many times people say, that's how I talk, that's how I am, I come out very intimidating, but that's not who I am as a person. But when you change your body language, you can put the other person at ease, and you are only to be benefited out there. And being yourself, now this is the most underrated concept. Being yourself, what do I say, being your authentic self. You all know SPB Balasubramaniam? A quick yes would do. SPB Balasubramaniam, singer who used to do a playback singing for Salman Khan for Hum Aapke Hai Kaun and things like that. So
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
we lost him during pandemic. I think immediately the second wave or something around that time we kind of lost him. And there was in memorial of him. His son is also a singer, so his son was singing, giving a tribute. So that's the first time I heard his son sing. And if you actually close your eyes and listen to him, it's exactly like SPB. You wouldn't know who is singing. So I was just having a discussion with one of my mentors, and he was like, the reason his son did not have a singing in career is because he replicated his father dicto. And it's not like he replicated on purpose. Uh, that's the genetics. But very sadly, when he went out to pitch himself as a singer, it was told that we have one SPB and we don't need one more. And even after his demise, he's like, he was an iconic personality, and that's all we need. We do not want a duplication of him. So that's the power of being your authentic self. And one, secondly, that's how much people don't like duplication. So we have seen people, sometimes suddenly you see a international delegate, people tend to change their accent. Or you adore somebody, probably on social media, be on in your office, or anybody, like a role model, and you start to walk and talk and breathe like that person. You don't have to. Adoring is one thing. Here's why. Logic is, there are millions of people better than you. There are even millions of people not as good as you, but the world has only one you that you don't want to deprive of. So all the good things, not so nice things about you, is yours. We will get better eventually. We polish ourselves, but we need to really look at ourselves as that one piece. The world just has this one Ananya Shetty, one Rupesh, and one Ashmita, and we do not want to let go of that. And nobody will do that for you. Nobody will come. We are not Shah Rukh Khan. People will not come to us, say, patting our back and say you are the best thing that happened. So we need to do that to ourselves every single day, and put ourselves first. Be our authentic self, unapologetically you, and eventually the world will really accept with open arms. So I think the least that we can do to yourself in this one life that we have is to be your authentic self and honor yourself. On that note, have a winning smile. Now this is like, my son is going to LKG. I ask him, he'll also say you have to smile. But how much of it we do it in, like, consciously? There's so many times we put people off because we are not smiling. I've had this instance that mine is an arranged marriage. So I happened to meet a girl from the other side of the family, like the first time when we were meeting, and she was in her own world, and probably she missed out on looking at me and smiling. And somehow that really stayed with me till date. I'm 6 years into marriage. So this is just a tiny little example. Sometimes you might simply put people off and you don't even know why. People simply go back with saying, she didn't give me the right vibe. Basically, what are they talking? She didn't give me the right first impression. Probably chances are you failed to smile, or smile genuinely, or smile enough, and people feel like, she just put me off. So always make it an effort. And also, when I also take corporate training, so once when I went to a corporate training here in Bangalore, one man stood up and he was like, मैं क्या करूं, मेरा मुंह ही ऐसा है, this is how my face looks like. I understand, and he is not making it up. Few people have a frowning face, sadly. But is it good enough excuse for you to just be there telling, this is how I look? There is so much that is at stake for you, so you might as well make an effort. Fake it till you make it is what people say. On that note, be extremely open and confident. So I was going through this interview of Priyanka Chopra, and she says, I became Miss World in the age of 18, and the only thing I carried with me was confidence. So if that's what an 18-year-old confidence can do to an 18-year-old, we are adults, and you imagine what it can do to us. So working on it, uh, showing up every single day as your confidence, even if you are shivering inside, there's so much butterfly inside, doing that little pep talk, going standing in front of the mirror, saying it loud that you're awesome, you're fantastic, you'll do a great job, and then moving out will help you put your best foot forward. And here's the thing with being open: we are very quick as human beings, we are very quick to judge. See, I'm a South Indian, so if I go to a North Indian, and if it's a so moment they look at me, South Indian, oh, Malayali, or Tamilian, or lungi dance, suddenly, so that's people are quick to judge and make that very very casual comment to make. But I there's one thing I want to really tell. We When you judge people, and you might be nice enough not to tell it vocally, but when you constantly judge people, people can sense it. It's like a vibe, so people can read between the lines. So you innately have to develop a sense of openness, not being on a judgment mode all the time. Try to be that, so that people are also comfortable to open up with you and take that first foot forward. And then etiquette. So etiquette is also another major area. We have dining etiquette, we have telephone etiquette, we have social etiquette, we have business etiquette, office etiquette. So one of the things, with telephone, people call you. I have a couple of people in my life, they call me, they don't even ask me how I am, what am I doing, good time to talk, nothing. They're like, there is something in the cupboard. The last time we went, what was, can you send me the picture? Straight to the topic. The nicest thing to do is, at least the basic thing to do, is to ask them, is it a good time to talk? Yeah, can we talk now? Or just ping before. Yeah, these are a couple of etiquettes. Let's say, I am also a fine dine etiquette trainer. So one of the things that we have, let's say you carry your phone or you carry your bag while going for dining etiquette. So where do you place your bag? On the table, on the chair, down on the floor, on your lap? What do you do? How do you look at the host? And when do you get up from the food? When you say it's enough, how do you take the soup? There is so much to it. Even in office, let's say, shake hand. How exactly do you shake hand? What not to do when you're shaking hand? How much eye contact to give? What is the pause you give between the talk? There's so much to it. It's a world of its own. But here's the thing. Let's say, when somebody is nice and kind and etiquette and chivalrous, they always get brownie points. Especially in the dating world, a guy opens the door. We'll talk about Shah Rukh Khan. Now people say, everybody who talks about one thing very constantly about Shah Rukh Khan is, whoever comes to Mannat, he is the first. He'll come till the car. He'll open the door of the car, make you sit and make you feel. So that is etiquette, and people will never forget that kind of kindness, that kind of gesture, and that's a great way to make a great first impression on people. And using small talk. I think someone here already, the way we talk was also one of the things. So how do you do? Let's say, you're all meeting. Let's say this is just a hypothetical situation where, uh, let's say post pandemic, you're meeting somewhere. It's a general meetup, like a networking, and you want to talk to the person, but you don't know how to start. So what do you do? What do you do? Anybody who want to give me any thoughts about, how do you start a conversation? Introduce yourself. Okay, this was much early. How do you start a conversation with people you don't know and you want to start? What are the things that you should be doing, shouldn't be doing? You want to put it in the chat box? No? Okay. Okay, all right. Talk about something at the scenario. Yeah, let's say, could be Could be how did you travel, how did you come back, how did you commute, where you put up. Yeah. Also, food is a very good topic to talk about. Movies are the good talk about. Sports is one of the things. So what are the things that you shouldn't be talking about? Yeah. Probably, politics, anything that's controversial, anything that has an innate trendy topic that could offend people, anything to do with religion. Don't talk about job. All right, Shiva, I'm taking that from you. Do not talk. Probably to easen up, straight coming to, your role, this and that, focus on the topic. All right. Good evening. Hello. Lovely, lovely. Start conversation. Thank you so much. And okay. All right. So thank you so much for sharing your insights. Hmm, okay. Okay, these are the couple of things that you should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and then being courteous and attentive. I'm assuming at least we have married crowd also here. So to all the people out there who are married, I just want to tell you one thing. What is a constant complaint a wife has on husband? It is this: he doesn't listen. And even if he pretends to listen. And whenever I ask him, what did I talk about, he has no clue what I was talking about. He's always in his own world, whatever. So here's the thing: there is nothing like listening. Listening is an art, it's a skill, and it's very easy. You just have to have an attentive ear to the other person. But what it does, like the implication of it is so much. People really adore people who are able to listen to them and listen attentively. So for a very brief period of time, I was volunteering for a non-profit organization. So the job there was to really reply to mails and the blogs, people who comment. So here's why that was born. So when the research was made, the thousands of letters, anonymous names, letters coming to post office every single year, and there was nobody to write back to them. So it's these people who sent letters. It is not these people who do not have anybody in their life. They have people. It's just that they do not really have anybody who they can talk to, who person that can really listen to, give that kind of time, which is why we used to really write back to them. So that's how powerful and how much value people give for listening. If you have been a good listener to somebody, the person really at most values you and values you over so many other people, irrespective of how you're related to the person. And courtesy and kindness, like I said, kindness, it's not an expensive thing to do, but it can take you a long way, pays off like hell. So it doesn't hurt to be kind, so always be kind. And then finally, remembering names. So I've had so many instances where people are not great at remembering names. But here's the thing: when I talk to people, taking their name, they always feel important. Instead of just starting the sentence with, can you pass me that, in office, or probably, could you please do you know what is the next session? Instead of just saying that, what is the target? Use their name. So when you use their name, they feel it's like giving them a personal touch, giving them so much importance and attention, and they feel valued. So their name, for every one of us, for me, for you, for everybody, your name is very personal to you, something that you truly own for yourself. Yeah, and you value it so much. It's very dear to you, and when somebody else also reiterates that, you feel special and you give that kind of attention. So all I expect is, remember all these stuff. These are tiny little knickknacks, nothing that you did not know, but just it's a good reminder, I would say, for you to put into practice. And on that note, like I said, in spite of knowing all this, you have no idea the kind of blunder we do as humans, and which directly affects our first impression. 67% of people don't make eye contact when they are talking. Yeah, I see a lot of people on social media also, like camera is in front of them, they're probably looking here and there, not because they want to look here and there, they're probably remembering, trying to recollect what to talk. But when you don't make eye contact, which I am missing out on like hell right now. I wish I could see each one of you out there. But when the eye contact is missing, the personal touch lags. Like, I will not hesitate to say it even once, even when it's happening to me right now. There's nothing more personal than eye contact. It's very, very important. So the next time you're talking to somebody, just ask that question to yourself. Am I looking at the other person's eyes and talking? Yes, if yes, good job. If not, time to get back on track. And 47 people have little or no knowledge about the company. So this is a deal breaker, I would say. Wherever you're working, it's very, very important, and it's not non-negotiable. You need to know the mission, vision, the purpose, what the company stands for. Yeah, what is the branding like? What do you represent every single day? So you really need to know. And also, one is that aspect of it. Secondly, let's say you are in conversation with the client, or in an outsider, or anything for that matter. People these days, freelancers, they get on discovery calls, clarity calls, to really understand other person. You don't have to go there the purpose of figuring out the person. It's nice to always go do your homework and present yourself. So when you do that with the other person, they feel like you really matter to them. The person has done good enough homework, so the I am important to the person. So that helps. 38% unfortunately don't really smile at people when they pass by. And even at office, there's so much stress you're walking through. You don't really, you're like, it's okay. I've seen this person, I see this person all the while. What is the need to smile? So I just cross. All you need to do is just widen your lips and just smile. And that makes a difference on the other person's life. So why not make that effort? And 33% have bad posture. How you sit and how you stand, how you holding your hands, are you fidgeting all the time? Yeah, the kind, are your back slouching? Is it straight? Are you tilting sideways? All the things. Yeah, these are the kind of mistakes that we do. Now, here's the reality check. You don't get a second chance to create a first impression. So, well, it is a good news and the bad news. I'll tell you why it is a good news. It takes only 7 seconds to create a first impression. So when I say 7 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you meet each other and a first impression formed. So the good news is it only takes that, you need to be aware that 7 seconds, the kind of impression that you're giving, and you're sorted. If you're able to give a good first impression, you're good to go. However, the bad news is if you manage to screw up that 7 seconds, probably you are never going to get through that person with the impression, because like I said, first impression lasts forever. So here's the thing. Like I said, you people always judge the book by its cover. It's nice to say, I am not judgmental person and this and that, but as humans, it's our innate nature to look at something and say, this looks like a nice place. He looks like a nice person. It's such a lovely day. So how do you do that? We are constantly judging. And that, so when people look at you, how you present yourself, how you walk, talk, how the kind of clothes that you wear, how you carry yourself, people judge you then and there. So and I do it, you do it, everybody do it. There's nothing to be guilty about it. The good thing is, now first impression happens that quick and that powerful. So you might as well find a way to fix this. So like I said, they form quickly and they last forever. Then they're very contextual. For example, today I'm meeting you all for the first time, me and you. So there are three people involved. One, it's you. Second, it's me. And third, it's the situation. What is the situation? For us now, it's through presentation. Yeah. So this is the situation that we are talking about. And once in 7 seconds, the first impression is formed. Later, whatever that conversation happens later, it is going to build up. Like, oh, the first 7 seconds, I thought this way about this woman, and yeah, I was right. Or probably, oh my god, I was right the first time. I didn't like this person. I was so right, so not my type, and I never want to talk to this person, or whatever you build up over that. So that's how you build up over a first impression. Now, when I say communication, it is not just the talking communication. I'm talking about communication pertaining to first impression. Yeah, visually, like, how does first impression form? 55% of the first impression happens visually. When you look at somebody, what did they wear? It's not just what did they wear, how did they wear what they wore, how they look is 55%. And then vocal, which is now I'm talking, it's not what I'm talking, the context, how I'm talking, like the pitch, the tone, the voice modulation, all of it, how you say it. How many times we have heard people say, the person apologized, he said sorry, but didn't feel like he actually meant it. Yeah, people read between the lines. And then verbal is the context, whatever I'm talking. So if you go back, see, I am a 90 child, so I was always told, if you're good with English, if you're knowledgeable, you're sorted for life. But look at the statistics. 55% is visual. So let's say you might be extremely good at your career, extremely good at your craft, at your job. But if you're not able to create a good first impression, which is 55% visual and 38% vocal, you are really blocking that so many opportunities that coming you see. Only when you get an opportunity, then the person will hire you, and then the person will really work, and then your craft really matters, your craft really takes you forward. But for the door to open, first impression matters. For you to get that job, for you to get that role, for you to get that promotion, first impression matters. Yeah. And when I say 55, it is not just clothing, it is grooming. How you groom yourself, kind of body language that you show, the kind of etiquette and mannerisms that you show, everything commutes to 55%. But the problem is real. When I say real, 73% of people feel that they are dressed inappropriately for occasion. It's like, I have nothing to wear. 85%, 81% people feel that, there's an interview, I don't know what to wear. There's a wedding, I don't know what to wear. What I don't know, will I be underdressed? Will I be overdressed? And there's some people, they even go ahead and skip it. I've had one-on-one clients who missed out on, who prepared for the interview, but they simply missed out because they were so nervous, they didn't know what to wear. And if they would be giving out a good first impression, they might as well, instead of making a fool of myself, I might as well not show up. That is the choice that they made. So occasions like job interviews, wedding, even dates, these are the occasions where people worry about it the most. And here's the royal excuse, I've heard it enough and more, that clothes are not important to me. My work speaks for myself. The reason why I put it out here is I, for the last 25 years of my life, have believed this to be true and have been a flag bearer of it. But however, now, when I was introduced to image management and understood how I present myself really impacts how people look at me, how I feel about myself, and the opportunities that will come my way is completely dependent on this. My lookout has changed. And to all my clients and students, and my trainees, whenever I have approached this, their life have really changed when I was introduced, when I really told them how to implement all of this. So now coming to dressing for success, a quick example of couple of people here. We have Ratan Tata ji, we have Barack Obama, we have the Prime Minister, we have the Bachchan Saab. So, and also we have couple of powerful women here like Jayalalitha, like the queen that we recently lost, Priyanka Chopra, Kiran Bedi, yeah, Michelle Obama. So there is something very common with these people. They dress a certain way. So this might be a little contradicting, and you might say that, they dress this way because they're in a powerful position. They have to dress this way. Do they have a choice? But here's the thing. It's not just that. Yeah. One, it's true. But secondly, because they want to come across as a powerful people, they want to come across as an influential people, they dress a certain way, which is also true. Now the point of the matter is, if they can do it, you can do it too. I don't mean you start dressing up to become a prime minister, no, but whatever roles and goals that you have in your life, you need to dress par that. When people look at you, let's say you're an engineer, you need to look like one. Let's say you're a manager, you need to look like one. Let's say you're an executive, your first impression need to give that message out. It's not just the badge that says, or the door, the nameplate that says you are such and such person doing such and such thing. Your visual presence should justify what you do and how you look and how you want people to be treated. Now this is another powerful thing. So people always say, the person treated me like this. I always blame the person who comes up with that, because you train people how to treat you based on how you dress up and how you show up and how you carry yourself. It is true. It is so true. The entire control is in you. So, a quick question here. Here are a couple of things. Um, ways we can actually communicate through our clothes, through our presence. So like being authoritative, being approachable, being responsible, influential, available. I want you all to take a quick scan, yeah, and pick up one word that you think that is what I want to communicate through my clothes, through my presence in my office or in my career as a whole. Yeah, you want to come across as a credible person, you want to come across as a charming person, dignified, you want to come across as an influential, capable person, dependable person, approachable person. Yeah. Or you some I'm like, I'm a very casual person, this is how I want people to look at me like. Or I'm a very empathetic person, I want to come across as a very empathetic person. Yeah. Or I want to be a leader, so I want to come across as an authoritative person, so people really listen to me. I am quickly going to shift to the chat box. I want to hear at least three of you say what is that you want to communicate.
Dignified.
Dignified. Lovely. Thank you, Rupesh. Thank you. Anybody else?
Approachable.
Okay.
Influencer.
Influential. All right. All right. Responsible. Lovely. 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 Thank you, Amit Kumar. All right. Thank you. The reason why I took you through this is because I want you to know that you have the power to choose what you communicate through your clothes. So we always think that it's a happening to us. ऐसे हुआ, मैंने ये पहन लिया, उन्होंने ऐसे सोच लिया मेरे बारे में. When that was true all your life, I don't want that to be true forever, you know. So I want you to take entire control, the steering of your life in terms of what your visual presence is going to be, and you choose what is the first impression people are going to take from you. Yeah, it's really that powerful. So here's a real takeaway that I'm going to share with you from Mirosam, all my heart. So here are the 5 things quickly that you can do to level up yourself instantly through visual communication. One of the things is to stop undermining you and start looking at yourself as a brand. You might be an employee and you might want to be an employee for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean you don't have a very strong identity of your own. You can become that brand. For example, me, Ananya Shetty, my personality should be a brand of my own. It should speak louder than my words. Yeah. And for that, you need to walk, talk, be that person. All the empathetic features that you want to have, all the leadership qualities that you want to have, you can actually embody through the grooming that you do, through the body language you present, through the etiquette that you show, through the clothes that you wear and how you wear it and how you present yourself every single time you show up. You are not showing up just as a person, you're showing up as a brand. So you need to take yourself that seriously and give yourself, honor yourself so much and really understand what do I represent? How do I want to represent? Basically, the bottom line question is when I go out of this world, what is the legacy I want to leave behind? How do I want people to remember me when I am not around? Yeah, be it immediately there's a transfer, you're not around, or when we are just out there, when I die, how do I want people to remember me? Yeah, is the question. When you answer those questions, probably you'll have better clarity there. And say yes to caller. If there is a situation, it's like it's important for you, and you don't want people to take you for granted and take like not take you very seriously, your ideas very seriously, then probably there is something that you need to do with your clothing. So the first thing that you can probably start doing is show up with some kind of collar. When I say collar, not just the regular collar, it's both for men and women. And you know the regular collar, the Chinese collar, any form of collar. So collar is like, I take myself seriously, you also might as well do the needful, is a kind of message you give out to the world. And even if it's Indian, the regular let's say you're going, um like even for men, Indian kurta, you can go the collared version. Even for men, for in on Fridays, I understand you don't have the dress code, but here they're casual dress code. Does that mean you show up as you wake up? No, casual means it's called smart casual. So even if you're wearing a t-shirt, you should be wearing a collared t-shirt. Let's say you're going out for dinner with your colleagues, it's an office dinner outing or any form of outing, it's still official. which means you need to give that kind of due respect there. So showing up with collar will do that good job for you, and also to the world. And also it's like you're not letting people cross that tiny little line and taking you lightly. So that's about color. Secondly, make an effort. When I say make an effort, uh, in terms of grooming, let's say today I'm showing up here as an image consultant. I need to look like one. And do I have a choice of not looking like one? No. Now it's a different story. You're not able to see me, but I need to make that effort, right? So every single day, when you want people to look at you, like somebody said, influential, somebody said dignified, Rupesh said dignified, I remember. And all the things that you want people to look at, like, now no magic is going to happen. You need to make that kind of effort to show up. So whatever best knowledge you have in terms of visual presence, in terms of body language, in terms of etiquette, for starters, do that and make an effort every single day. Just because it is on live, it's on Teams, it's on Zoom, doesn't mean you don't have to make that effort. People always count, and when you make an effort, people might not say it loud and clear, but deep down they always appreciate, they always remember. And the next thing is use layering. So when I say layering, any jacket, any third layer blazer, even linen blazer. So when we hear blazers, in India, we only understand three-piece man suit, but there's so much to it. So if collar is not good enough for a certain situation to make an impact there, the next best thing to do is show up in layering. That could be any form of layering. Like for example, you see this? These are a couple of examples. You can show up any layering. Now, how much of is it formal? How much of is it semi-formal? How much of is it casual business, smart casuals, and then casual? So that is a different ball game altogether. But when you show up on layering, you are always remembered. You are always looked upon as an important person, and people don't make them. You are difficult to miss out on. People always remember people wearing third layers. So when it's an important, which is why people up in the career ladder, or if you're manager, if it's an important meeting, like a gathering, people always show up their best foot forward, and their version of best foot forward is always third layer layering. Yeah, there's also a couple of examples that you can do. You can actually implement this even in your casual life, your social life, your personal life also. If it's an important occasion, show up in some form of third layer. They will always work for you in your favor. And finally, don't ignore the grooming. Your hair, your shoes, if you are women in the house right now, Ashmita was saying we were expecting at least 20 of them. Your nails, wear closed shoes, polish them. And for men, you have certain rules to follow. For example, um, your shoes and your belt have to match. Your socks, what color socks have to go with what color trousers, how much to tuck in. If you're wearing a third layer blazer, where should it stop? Your shirt has to come out of your, in your sleeve. There's so much, and it's quite interesting topic to dig into. But there's so much rules to follow, but all the rules, when you follow it and do the good job at it, they always pay you off. On that note, I just quickly want to complete and conclude saying, when I say first impression, it is not impressing people and, being simply nice to people. That's not where we are getting it. We are only getting at expressing yourself right. Am I dressing? Am I behaving? Am I coming across as a person that I want to be understood as? Yeah. Am I giving the right kind of communication out to the world, loud and clear, or not? Yeah, that's the only question that you need to ask yourself every single day as you wake up. And then with little knowledge, little upgradation, you're always taken care of. With that note, I would like to conclude saying your first impression can make or break the deal for you. So choice is always yours. Make the wise choice. And we are open for questions now.
Thank you so much, Ananya.
Thank you.
As the speaker mentioned, we are open for questions. You can just direct them to Ananya, or you can type them in the chat box also.
And when I say
So,
questions, you don't really have to stick to first impression only. If the question is does come under image management umbrella bracket, feel free to ask anything. uh, I'll do my best to do justice to you. No questions for me?
so Ananya, I'll start with myself. So
Mm.
you mentioned, there are some, rules and regulations to dress up.
Yeah.
So, and whichever uh, adjective or whichever thing you want to
Right.
convey about yourself,
Right. Right.
you can dress accordingly. So, could you give
Right.
an example if
See, for
one
an
comes out?
right.
If one wants to give an impression of being approachable and yet
Mm.
influential,
Mm.
then how should one dress?
Right. So, I'll just talk about. So she spoke about approachable. Now I'll just talk about authoritative first, and then I'll talk about approachable. So you see this Kiran Bedi, or you observe even Ratan Tata. You observe women specifically speaking. What's her name? Jayalalitha. And all these people, Queen, we'll talk about Queen Elizabeth, always shows up in the same color. From her hat to her, entire outfit is in the same color or same color family. We call it family. So if you're wearing top to bottom same color, you come across as a very influential person, very authoritative person, which is why if you look at US Senate, when elections is happening, oath taking is happening, like Michelle Obama, everybody, all the women specifically, they show up in monochromatic color scheme, same color dress from top to bottom. Why? Because with the male dominating um, platform, they really want to make a seat for themselves. They want to, create a place for themselves, and there's nothing like monochromatic. When that is that, talking about approachable, so also being influential at the same time is what Ashmita was saying. So you can go three places. Now if you look at people in your own organization, somebody the top of the career, they are wearing three-piece suit, like light or monochromatic, either full same color, or black and white suit. So black and white are the most complementary color schemes out there. One light color and one darkest of the color. So they all bring a lot of authority on the table. So you don't have to go there. So when you do that, you might as well intimidate people sometime. You might as well make the person um, not very comfortable to reach you out. However, to feel approachable, you can go easy with the choice of fabric, the choice of colors, the choice of, you can bring in a lot of pattern, but at the same time you can still show up in third layers. So yeah, these are one of the options. And the next best thing, like if it's a team meeting, what do? You still don't want people to take you for granted. You want to be heard. At the same time, you don't want to overpower. Then you go with collars. So this is how you can slowly from the top to bottom, and then you can adjust based on your requirement. Ashmita, did I answer your question? You have any other question here?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
No problem. Anytime. Yeah.
So, any other questions from the audience? Yes,
Yes, Amit.
Abhi
Yes.
Kumar is raised his hand.
Yeah, uh, Ananya ma'am, that's a
Hi.
very good session. It's very
Thank you.
insightful, and thank you
Thank
so much for this session. I have a question about, is there any other source of getting more inputs on this subject matter, especially any other free source to get more inputs?
you. Okay. So talking about free source. So, like if you do go the DIY way, there is, you Google is the source. There is so much out there, but the only thing is nothing is structured. So chances of you getting caught up, chances of you getting confused and don't know which one to pick and how much to pick, that is a concern. Which is why, especially image management, because I have also taken that free route earlier before I took the paid route for myself, and it's chaos out there because there's so much information. There's so much out. So when I to answer your question, yes, there is plenty. If you can Google, there's so much in Pinterest, there's so much in Google. And one of the things that I can talk about in terms of from my end, I have a active presence on Instagram, and I give out so many free information out there, through posts, through reels, and all of that. So that is one of the places from me. And there's so many other image consultants who do that. But if you want a structured way of fixing your life, and your routines, and the impact that you make, uh, some help is always helpful.
Okay, thank you. In that case, please put your Instagram account, ma'am, on chat box.
Okay, just 1 second.
Thank you, Amit. Any other questions or comments or feedback? Anything is welcome.
Uh, this is Jagopal Soni.
Hello.
Is the first impression, whatever person puts before others,
uh,
that equally impacts all the audience, or there may be some different impacts or effect on different audiences. Like if I am
mm,
going to a place where there
mm,
are 3 or 4 types of people assembled
mm,
there,
mm,
and I want to impress all of them for
mm,
some kind of social work or some kind
mm,
of official work, whatever
mm, mm,
purpose
mm,
is there. And there
mm.
are all the peoples
Are
are
different.
of different thinking or of different fields.
Right.
So do you think that one person can make themselves
Right. I
present?
uh,
You,
correct.
you get my point, no?
I get it, sir. I get it. Thank you so much for asking. It's such a beautiful and a tricky question. But here's the thing, which is also true. When I say when first impression is formed, like I said, there are 3 people involved. I am involved, you are involved. So now you are so many people. So people, when you go back home, every individual might have slightly different opinion of me when you're going back. But here's the thing, 80% of what first impression that you give out to people is in your control. Probably 20 or 10% is theirs, because people are different. How they perceive life, their preferences are different. But that 80% control is definitely on us, without doubt. So because the logic, when we talk about color psychology that I was talking about, how you use lines to your advantage. I'll give you a tiny little example just to help you better. So in the beginning of my career as an image consultant, I had somebody who was a VP, but who was a very introverted person who doesn't talk much. So he had a problem. Nobody takes me seriously. Nobody listens to me when I'm talking. Yeah. So we worked around his wardrobe, giving him what lines to use, how to use the straight lines, how to use the colors, what kind of fabric to work. And to an extent, it really worked. That, people, because visually also we are communicating, and this is not my personal viewpoint. Yeah, and there's so much science involved to it, because there is a lot of psychology also involved into it. For example, color psychology, it is not just with your clothes. You see, all these food joints, KFC, McDonald's, there is a splash of red everywhere. Why? Red it's impossible to miss out on. Your attention goes there quickly. And which is why, especially for women or even men, you wear something red, it's impossible. So if you want that kind of attention, why do people in the wedding houses, why does the bride wear red? So there is so much science into it. So 80% of it works for you always, and it is good enough, sir. If you have to ask me, but 20% to nahi hai, 10% to nahi, only 80, but 80% is good enough. Right now we are operating from 0%, and you're seeing the result. So imagine having that 80% power, and how that can change your life. Did I answer your question, sir? You have any follow-up question for me?
Yeah. Just I got it that 80% of first impression will impress others,
Say
and
actually,
20% will be
yeah,
depend upon their own personality. Like I am a
yeah,
person
correct.
who is a workaholic, so I will like the person who will be workaholic. And
Right,
if I am a person who is uh,
correct. But end of the day,
outspoken, then I
you
will
will
like the outspoken person.
understood. You're absolutely right. But end of the day, because that 80% effort you have put, the person will still you will still leave that kind of impact on the person. That happens irrespective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Thank
people
you.
have their personal preferences.
Nice.
That's a different story. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mr. Anoop has a question. He's raised his hand.
Yes, please.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how do you become a image consultant? I'm asking this for my friend.
Okay, okay, lovely. So you have to get yourself certified. There are a couple of institutions that do image consultant. So you need to do a little background check because I'll be upfront. It's quite a money, and also quite a lot of time and commitment. It's not like evening college and things like that. So you have to go to like weekend classes and everything. So it's close. What you can do is what is the best possible institution that you have close by, and then probably go there, check, and you have to there are so many assignments, there's so many presentations, there's so many exams that you need to give, and then you have to clear, and then one day you'll be certified. At least minimum time required to complete the course would be 1.5 years, and maximum based on your own time frame.
Okay,
Anupji,
thank
did I
you.
answer? Yeah. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
partly. Yes, thank you.
You have any question? I'll be more than happy to answer. No
I
worries.
I might connect to you later, maybe offline.
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
So I have shared my Instagram link. If in case the link is not working, you just have to search for Mirasam in Instagram. You will find that. And also you have, I'll leave my mail ID to anybody who want to drop by for anything. More than happy to connect. Yeah, Ananya Shetty at
Thank you.
mirasam.com. Yeah. Yes. Any questions?
Okay, so I guess there are no more questions.
All right.
And if you have any other doubts, you can always direct them to JMA or Ananya directly, as she has shared her email ID here.
Mm.
So thank you, Ananya, for the wonderful session. As I said in
Thank
the
you.
beginning, it is a very interesting topic and very important. There are so many small nick and knacks that that can help and make a larger impact on your personality and on the way you express yourself. So
Right.
thanks a lot for taking us through that, and thank you to all the participants for bearing with us and enjoying the session, being interactive throughout. So we look forward to having you in our future programs as well. And Ananya, we look forward to hosting you here in Jamshedpur and having such lovely sessions in future. So thank you once
Anytime,
again.
anytime.
Thank
And
you, JMA, for conducting
Thank
such
you.
a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you so
And
much,
thank you
sir.
so much for having me, and to everybody who has turned up, it means a world to me because I never miss out on an opportunity when I get to meet new people. It's always wonderful. Such a small world, so you might as well meet, if not in person, at least virtually. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for approaching me, Ashmita. It was a pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. So do follow JMA on social media platforms for getting updates on all our events and programs.
Sure.
And have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.